Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first installment of Radio Free Decipher for
in the new
year
year
2002.
Yes, welcome aboard to the new year.
It's been like almost a month since our last installment on account of snow days.
That's right. That's right. Well, we did have the Star Wars announcement.
The special interview with Warren.
That happened right at the end of 2001.
I listened to it while I was on vacation. It was really cool to get to hear straight from him exactly what had happened. And this may sound strange, but some of it was really news to us in-house. You know, we knew near the end that it was going to, go down that way, but a lot of the particulars were coming to us at the same time as they were getting out to you.
Warren was still, basically up until the 11th hour, still having a lot of conversations with Lucasfilm about some of the details of some of the things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even up until the very end, he didn't know if we were going to be able to, if we were going to be able to release the virtual cards or if we weren't, and I think he found out only days before that that they weren't going to do those. So. But we still are. So
yeah. And by the way, Warren has passed along that he personally has received a tremendous amount of very positive feedback from the community out there, and we've seen it
well-wishing
on our message boards. It's been really a tremendous outpouring of support, and we're very, very grateful to all of you out there who love the Star Wars CCG, who have spoken up for us.
That's right. Thanks to everyone out there,
and particularly those of you who have applied for the Players Committee that's going to keep the game alive.
That's right. I want to just give everybody a little bit of an update on the Players Committee. We have received close to, actually, I think it's just over now, 200 some people wanting to help out with the Players Committee, and the selection process is underway, and there should be some sort of announcement in the near future of those people that will be part of the Players Committee. And even if you don't get selected in the initial run of the Players Committee, please understand that we are going to give all of the names of all of these people that have
applied,
that have shown interest in being part of the futuring of the Star Wars CCG. We're going to give those names to the Players Committee, and they will probably start contacting you to, for support and to help, and even to possibly bring you on. I mean, once it's in their hands, they can do what they want with it.
Yeah.
So, if you don't get selected in the initial group, you're still going to be a big part of helping, design the future of the game.
Yeah, it's great to know that they're going to be around to see that the game does have a future.
That's right.
Even know that we're not going to be able to continue to produce cards.
That's right. That's right. So, good news on the Players Committee front.
Yeah.
So you should start hearing things soon.
A nice story.
Yep.
And speaking of nice stories, you like that segue?
Yeah, beautiful segue, man. I hear you got a very good Star Trek anecdote for us this morning.
Yeah.
I know that on the way to work, you're sitting there thinking of, I can talk about this, and maybe not, and this and this. So did you finally choose an anecdote?
Yeah, I did. It's interesting. We're very early yet in the process of bringing the motion pictures, to bear. We're ways off from what would be the release date. So it's hard to know what to commit to because we say something publicly and then it, gets written in the stone and such, But I thought I would share something that very clearly is very in flux, and that is, of course, there are going to be whales in in the set. We're actually trying our best to implement the plots of just about all the movies to some degree.
And this is the whale story.
So you're going to be able to save the whales. And let me tell you what a pain in the neck these whales have been.
Really?
Yeah.
George and Gracie giving you some problems, huh?
Yeah, basically. I mean, back in alternate universe, for reasons that are rather mysterious to me, it was decided that animals should be personnel cards, and a lot of grief has stemmed from that.
Okay.
So now we're
George and Gracie.
So now we're doing George and Gracie, and they're going to be personnel cards. No surprise there. Dual personnel. It's George and Gracie.
Well, all right.
But it's problems. However they decided, say, how much cunning does Spot the cat have?
Sure.
It's compounded by these whales. Because for start, how integritous is a whale?
Right.
We don't know. They saved the Earth, so we'll say hi. How smart is a whale? Now, here's where it gets interesting, because, a whale is obviously one of the smartest forms of, animal life out there, whales and dolphins.
On Earth.
On Earth, sorry. Ooh, So, we look at Spot, who got 2 for her cunning, and it seems like, well, a whale should probably be smarter than a cat. Maybe there are some cat owners there who will debate that, but, whatever. So it seems like a whale should be smarter than a cat, so we slap 3 on there. Except then you look, and there are actual people with a cunning of 3 in the game, like Mr. Hong. So
a whale would be as cunning.
So a
as
whale
Mr.
is
Hong.
as cunning as Mr. Hong. So I don't know what that says about him, but we're kind of riding that whole. So on any one given day, George and Gracie are a 2, and then the next day they're a 3, and then we have this debate all over again. But the real kicker is strength.
Okay.
How strong is a whale?
Sure.
So we're trying to keep, in the interest of rule simplicity and mechanic simplicity, we're not making you build a whale tank and, find the transponder frequency and beam up the whale. No, you just you kind of carry the whales around. It's just easier that way. So I guess you kind of have to assume that if you're playing the whales card that you've got some sort of virtual tank like the brain in Dune had.
Sure.
I don't know.
Sure.
So really, I guess the George and Crazy card represents this tank of whales, So they're in a tank. So how strong are they, And there's so many ways to do it. Could George and Gracie help you open an impassable door? Or, I'm sorry, a malfunctioning door? Probably not. So they're not that strong, But then again, could somebody come up and beat on their cage and bust a hole in it, and then they'd, die on the ground? Who knows? So we're trying to, then we're like, well, does this strength number we're putting on these whales, does it represent the strength of the glass? Does it represent, their ability to hop up out of the water and flop on somebody in personnel battle? What's going on here? So every day, today, I think George and Gracie's strength is 3
combined
each.
Oh, okay.
I think yesterday they were 4.
So combined, these 2 are stronger than some,
a few,
Pac-Leds.
Yeah, a few, but then, who could kill a whale with their bare hands, I guess, is the question, maybe. I don't know.
Sure.
I mean, the average Klingon warrior, maybe. Who knows? So,
Headlock.
Like I said, today they're 3. I think yesterday they were 4. I think the day before that, literally, I think the day before that they were 5. And the day before that they were 4 again. So, who knows? But the whales are a problem, so I thought I might share that.
And it seems like it's even got to be compounded by the fact that you're putting them both on the same card. So it's not just cunning or a strength of 3, but it's 3 plus 3.
Well, in ways that helps, because then you can accurately represent what the strength of a whale would be, but not have them so feeble that you go and save them, and then Hannah Bates comes up and slides a knife in them and they die, So,
right.
Anyway, whale stories.
Wow. I couldn't imagine.
It's kind of silly.
Yep.
So let's talk some Lord of the Rings, because
we've got
a
lot
tremendous
of Lord of the Rings
amount of Lord of the Rings news we have to share. Starting with the big announcement of the errata for the Mirror of Galadriel.
That is effective immediately for tournament play.
Yes. If you have not seen it on the website, the Mirror now has the following text: plays to your support area. Each elf ally whose home is Site 6 is Strength +1. Fellowship phase action. If an opponent has at least 7 cards in hand, exert Galadriel to look at 2 of those cards at random. Discard 1 and replace the other.
So instead of being able to abuse the mirror strategy with cards like Shoulder to Shoulder and multiple Galadriels and Celeborns in your hand to keep healing them over and over, so you can discard 6 cards, 4 to 6 cards out of your opponent's hand every turn. Before they're able to even play those cards, now it's been brought back to where it was originally intended and is a much more manageable level of basically getting 2 cards out of their hand a turn at max.
Right. It's constrained by the opponent's hand, so should still be powerful. Certainly.
Very, very playable still. Very strong. You can still use cards like Curse Their Foul Feet to help get more cards out of their hand. White Arrows of Lorien, even though it happens later on, that still can hurt their hand. Cards like Far-Seeing Eyes will still be able to do some damage. So it's still a very useful card in combination with others, but it's not abusable anymore. And it's not that the deck was necessarily unbeatable.
Yeah, we actually had a lot of people respond. That we've been getting a lot of feedback on these mirror decks, and many people were saying that they were beatable. But even they said it's really negative to have to play one.
Yeah, I mean, basically, the only thing that you can really do if they get their engine up and running is run ahead of them every turn.
Right.
Just try and outrun them to the end, because it's funny because of the card. The mirror gets cards out of your opponent's hand during the fellowship phase. It really becomes the counter to any counter cards that are made against it. Because let's say we put a counter card for the mirror in Mines of Moria, the mirror can get rid of that counter card out of your hand before you have a chance to play it.
Exactly.
So it becomes a little bit of a negative play experience when you're not even able to basically play the strategy or play your deck strategy where it gets stripped out of your hand before you even get a chance to play.
So the mirror should still be out there, but the nature of the deck design will change.
That's right.
Which will affect all of you deck designers who are submitting for the Design Challenge 2.
That's right. That went up on the website today, the Designers Challenge 2. We had a very fun time in the last one, and Scott Valentine from upstate Virginia won the first Designers Challenge.
Now, that challenge happened, less than a week or two after the original release?
No, it was about a month. It was about a month, but it was still like tournaments hadn't been going on for very long, and there weren't big websites up dedicated to deck design and stuff. So now
you've had more months to get shrewd at this game. So we expect the quality of the decks to go up significantly,
and which is going to help the selection process a lot. There's a nice little auto form that you fill out your deck into now, so it's all arranged nice and neatly. So that'll help a lot as well. So. We look forward to those decks, and the very cool thing is that the first place winner is going to get the very first Witch King T-shirt.
Cool.
So that's pretty cool. Also, as well as a signed Aragorn King in Exile card, signed by actor Viggo Mortensen. Second place still gets the Billy Boyd signed Pippin card, so that's really, really cool.
Very cool.
So looking forward to all those decks, and looking forward to playing in this next tournament. We all had so much fun in the first one. I don't think that I'm going to play in this one
this time.
Yeah, I got to win the last one.
Quit while you're ahead.
Thanks, Scott.
Retire while you're on
top. That's right. No, but a lot of other people in the office wanted to play in it and didn't get the opportunity to last time. So since there's only 8 slots, I figured I'll bow out and let somebody else play.
There you go. All right. We have a lot of Lord of the Rings product releases to be discussing here, Lord of the Rings related product releases. So let's start with the big news that you'll be seeing next week. You've already heard the text. On Tuesday, we are going to be putting up the card image of the Balrog, the preview card that the distribution on that we're going to be talking about with Battlebee.
That's right.
But you've heard that you will be seeing the Balrog early.
Well, actually, some people may not have heard yet what not everybody goes to other websites to look for the most current Lord of the Rings news. But there is a new Balrog card that is coming out early.
Before the release
of Mines of Moria, and there will be a story going up about it this Tuesday. And we've got special reasons why we're doing it this Tuesday. But so even though some people may know the game text of the new Balrog card, this will be the first opportunity to actually see the card. So they will actually get to see the card, see the picture, see exactly how terrifying
it is. A truly impressive card. It's very cool.
So, and you'll be able to, when you see the story on Tuesday, find out exactly how to get your hands on that card before the Mines of Moria comes out. And it'll talk a little bit about what the tournament legality of the card is, and it'll give you pretty hard dates on exactly when it becomes tournament legal. So
do watch the website on next Tuesday and witness the Balrog.
That is right. The starter decks, your good old Gandalf and Aragorn starter decks are sold out.
Right.
Sold out.
The demand on them has been that extreme that the warehouse has no more. We have what we've got set aside to be able to do promotions this summer when we go to the shows, and that's it.
There will probably be some updated news about starter decks in the not too distant future, but those things we can't talk about.
Right. We're still laying down our plans for making starter decks available. We can say for sure there will be starter decks for Minds of Moria.
Yes.
So you can look forward to that, if nothing else. But there are other plans being discussed. And also, the deluxe starter decks
are still available. For a while. I understand that those quantities are starting to get down.
Well, particularly now that you won't be able to get Gandalf or Aragorn here.
Well, I mean, it'll still be out there a little bit. The distributors might still have some. Your local store might still be able to get them, but distributors cannot buy them from us anymore.
Yes, so there still could be, a significant amount being pulled through the pipeline, but if you want them, I would pick them up now.
I would assume that the starter decks will still be not too difficult to find for the next couple of weeks.
Right.
But starting to get around a month from now, it's probably going to start getting tough to find starter decks.
So, not to create a rush, but there you have it.
You are now informed.
I guess your other option would be if you happen to speak Portuguese, Spanish, German, French, Italian,
and one other one.
I'm not sure even, because we are beginning to release foreign language translations.
That's right.
Of the Fellowship of the Ring set.
That's right. And as a matter of fact, the majority of those sets will be available by the end of January in all of those various languages in those countries. You'll probably, a little while after that, see those sets go for sale on the Decipher store online.
You'll be able to get all the translations through our website.
I believe you'll be able to get the majority, if not all, of the translations through our website online.
That's cool.
So, yeah. But, I mean, I could be way off base here, but I think that we're going to have to pay duties and stuff to bring them back in because they're all being printed over in Europe.
Yes.
So if that happens, they will be more expensive on our website because we have to pay extra to bring them back over here.
Yeah. So they are all being printed, I think, at Cardamundi.
Back
Belgium. At the beginning.
Yep. So they're very busy over there.
Yeah. Yes, running the press on every language,
Which is, this brings up an interesting point, which I didn't think we were going to talk about this today, but I should just mention it. It's being printed in all these various different languages, so expect the championship circuit to be broadened this year.
Yes.
Because you will probably see people at the World Championships. I mean, there's going to be a Chinese translation, so expect to see not just one Chinese representative, but probably multiple Chinese representatives at the World Championship this year, as well as Israeli. There's going to be a South African championship. There's going to be Brazilian. There will be a South American Continental. There will be an Asia Continental. There will be an African Continental. Expect
to be very huge.
Yes, it's going to be massive this year. So, not like the old days. It's truly this is truly an international community, a much larger, I should say, international community than previous with our other games. So.
All right,
exciting stuff.
So next up, all right, now let's talk about the lead kits.
Okay, lead kits. Yeah.
When are we now to expect them?
I believe it's still end of January. There was a story that went up yesterday on the website, yesterday on the website. It accompanied 2 cards, the Book of Merzer, which was a dwarf card, and the alternate image of Balin's tomb.
Yes.
There are also, if you are interested in finding other images of and spoilers of the league kit cards, you can find 2 of them on the Game Players Network, GamePlayersNetwork.com, and 2 of them on the OneRing.net, which is the OneRing.net.
Yes. So you do want to be a part of league play,
which I think one of them is one that everybody's been looking for, which is the Bill the Pony.
I was going to say, is it Bill the Pony?
I think Bill the Pony is up on the OneRing.net.
Francis told me a very funny story about having to translate Bill the Pony into French, but it would lose something in my translation, pun intended. But anyway,
you were talking to me about some of the funny translations that we've had into some of the language. My favorite was the French version of Bag End.
Yeah, that was well. Here's the thing. I have been one of the people in the product in the TCG studio that has been proofreading the layout of the cards. Now, I don't speak all of these languages, but what we do is basically make sure that when the press sheet is arranged, that it's in the same configuration as the English press sheet. So we basically look at the cards,
look at the numbers,
look at words that we do know, words that are close, and then on some occasions, I speak some French, and Mike speaks some Spanish and some German, and so, we make do. But we're basically checking that everything's in the right place. But we get the fun of seeing what some of these cards look like in the other languages. So we've had the best one, hands down, is there's 3 cards that are always real winners in the translation that always make us laugh. The first one is Fool of a Took. It always gets translated funny. The Italian one is Tuk è stupido. and that's been the source of a lot of jokes upstairs this week. The second one is Barnum and Butterbur,
Prancing Pony Proprietor.
Yes,
right.
and it's funny for 2 reasons. One is the whole Prancing Pony Proprietor, which inevitably translates into something that will barely fit in that text box.
Sure.
And then the fact that apparently you would think Barnum and Butterbur is his name, right? Don't translate it. No. When those books were written and originally translated, apparently the translators decided that his name needed translating. So, and I'm not sure the logic behind the translations, but it's something, to the effect of, it's the word bar, so the word for bar is this. It's the word butter, so the word butter is, something to that effect. So it's always something that doesn't remotely resemble Barnum and Butterbur. And that's always funny. And the third one is bag end. Right. Because in English, it's sort of a play on words. Bag end also meaning dead end, so end of the street. And in French, that became cul-de-sac.
Which we're all familiar with what a cul-de-sac is. So if you happen to live on a cul-de-sac, congratulations, you're at bag end.
There you go. So then in other translations, they decided to take the other route and go for the pun, so they tried to translate bag end, bag in somehow, and so in Italian it became casa baggins.
Right. Casa baggins.
So those 3 cards are inevitably pretty funny in the translation.
Good stuff.
Anyway,
good stuff.
Enough about translations. One more really significant product release we really want to talk about
also the end of January, January 30th.
January 30th is the release of the Lord of the Rings adventure game. This is sort of the prelude leading you into the role-playing system, and we got a sample of it in the office this week, and it's absolutely incredible.
I think we're playing this weekend, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, you open it up, and the character sheets are in full color, double-sided. They have images of the characters on them. They have this kind of weathered look to the layout of them.
Cool stuff.
Really awesome.
So yeah, we're going to be testing this out this weekend, hopefully, and you know what? Maybe we'll let everybody know what we thought of it next week.
Yeah. So you do not want to miss the adventure game. We'll give you an update.
That's right.
So I think, shall we bring this 30-minute epic to a halt?
Did everybody catch everything? Okay. If not, go back, listen to it again, because Evan and I are so witty anyways that it's just a delight to hear us or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So welcome to 2002.
Yep.
Watch for all the big news coming up in the weeks ahead.
Thanks a lot for listening. Have a great weekend.